Redlining was a series of discriminatory city and neighborhood districting that occurred in the United States between the 1930s to the 1960s. Redlining refers to the process of lending or insurance discrimination that based credit decisions on the location of a property, often resulting in minorities, especially African Americans, to be denied access to a loan or mortgage. Although the term was coined after the process faded out of federal law, redlining was in effect both before and after the process was enacted into law. Redlining was implemented by the Homeowners Loan Corporation, or HOLC, a government-backed program that was established during the Great Depression as a way to mitigate the increase in housing foreclosures. Although the HOLC helped many Americans and made over 1 million low-interest loans to homeowners in the 1930s, it also helped develop and carry out a program to assess real estate risk levels in cities across the United States. The HOLC, under the jurisdiction of the Federal Housing Administration, developed a system of mapping in cities all across the United States. The maps were colored from green to red, given corresponding letter grades from A to D. These grades signal the stability of the neighborhood, and the higher the rating, the higher likelihood the neighborhood would receive low-interest mortgage loans from the FHA. The neighborhoods marked A, as one appraiser said, didn't have a single foreigner or Negro living there. Conversely, the neighborhoods in the red zone, marked D, were labeled as such if they had any black presence. These assessments would later be known as redlining. Generally, the 4 zones earmarked who could receive a loan for a house and at what price. A sample taken of several neighborhoods in Philadelphia showed that in all 5, loans made for properties given worse grades had the highest interest rates, while loans for properties farther away from these red zones had lower interest rates. This system poorly affected thousands of minority families, making it impossible to receive affordable loans for housing mortgages.
On June 15, 1937, the region of West Oakland was redlined and labeled a D area. Mainly Black, Asian, and foreign wage earners populated this area. After World War II, many African Americans relocated to California, hoping for a better life, starting with owning a home. But unfortunately, most of these individuals were denied loans, since neighborhoods such as West Oakland, where many of them resided, were marked as high-risk areas for loans. As time passed, these boundaries were not only isolating people of color from the whites, but were also separating people based on class. Eventually, by 1960, West Oakland became a post-industrial transportation crossroad. 3 new highways and the BART system made it easy for people living in the suburbs to be transported to San Francisco, destroying the commercial district that once existed in West Oakland, all while further segregating this area and continuously displacing thousands of individuals due to urban development. On the other hand, Piedmont was marked as green and labeled with an A. It's no surprise that this area was mainly populated by professional and business executives. Piedmont was an area with many mansions and restricted solely to Caucasians. It was described as one of the best residential districts of the East Bay Area in 1937. In hopes of maintaining that title, real estate representatives and white property owners kept this area populated by whites, restricting people of color from residing in this area. Not only excluding them from the opportunity to purchase a home with some of the best mortgage loans, but also omitting them from the primary way of accumulating wealth in America. Decades later, Piedmont continues to be an island city in the middle of Oakland, populated by elites. Redlining reconstructed poverty and opportunities for people of color in Oakland and across the Bay Area. We continue to see the effects today. From Oakland to San Francisco, it's clear that redlining disproportionately affected communities of color. Though its legal versions are long gone, did the framework it laid really ever fade away? We should look at Oakland today, still struggling in the remnants of an unfair system. The long-term outcomes of this practice have crippled attempts for people of color trying to climb the ranks of the socioeconomic ladder out of poverty and into prosperity. How so? Pew research indicates that the net worth of the average African American family is 20 times less than that of the average white family. Consider what this entails for the African American family currently living in Oakland with no safety net, given their historical inability to grow wealth through passing on homes to their children. Consider the pending lawsuit against Wells Fargo by the city of Oakland, which claims that minority communities have been the target of high-interest mortgage loans, which has led to more families losing their homes to foreclosures. Consider the fact that food options in red-line neighborhoods have been limited, given supermarkets worry to open in red-lined areas. Are we really beyond the unfair practices of redlining, or is Oakland still living in its shadow?